What's up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome to Heart at Home. I want this to be like we're just sitting, chatting, hanging out, girl talk, you know? All the good vibes of when you were in high school and you were at your best friend's house sleeping over for like the 20th time in a row. I'm sure everyone has heard of the saying, home is where your heart is. It's so cliche, and I think it kind of just is so repetitive that we become really numb to it. But if you really think about it, it has a lot of meaning and it has a lot of weight, because honestly, not all of us have been in a space where we have felt home in whom we were placing our heart with. And I specifically want to talk about that today. I want to talk about the reality of relationships and how at times they don't feel like home. Sometimes they don't feel safe enough to be yourself. Sometimes you can't be honest and can't be vulnerable. Sometimes you don't even feel like yourself. A few years ago, I was in a super toxic, super dysfunctional relationship. It was emotionally abusive, mentally abusive, and physically abusive. I probably would say that that was the hardest season of my life, and I definitely would never ever wish that upon anyone. I was so blinded to the reality of how much it would damage me. For starters, I never imagined that I would be that girl that a man ever laid hands on, but then again, I don't think anyone pictures that for their life. And to those who have experienced it, I think it goes to show that this is not something that's not common, because you'd be surprised on how many people are actually experiencing abuse in some way, shape, or form. But it's not something that happens overnight. You know, from the beginning, I think I've seen red flags: lying, manipulation, blame, jealousy, control. The infatuation and the excitement kind of overshadows all that. So you kind of look past it, and it's like, okay, well, maybe this comes with being in a relationship. Right? Maybe this is just kind of the things you have to readjust to keep being in a relationship. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest. I really couldn't tell you. Fast forward now to a few years of this, and it's just a roller coaster of emotions. It's constantly up and down, making up, breaking up, not talking for weeks at a time, getting back together as if nothing happened, not changing, breaking up. It was honestly so many lows that at one point it got to an ultimate high of being engaged, and I felt like that would maybe turn over a new leaf. I felt like maybe, being engaged and planning a wedding and looking forward to getting married would change all these things, but realistically, it never did. And I remember coming home from work one day, and I'm just staring at my engagement ring, and I'm looking at it, and in my mind, I'm settling, saying, this is never gonna get better, and I'm gonna have to be okay with that, because this is who I'm gonna marry. This is it. This is what my life's gonna look like. Girl, get used to it, because you parked here. That was it for me. But while I was sitting down, I remember this thought coming across my mind, and what I was thinking in that moment just collided into a brick wall. And the thought that came across my mind was, when you're done with this, let me know, because I have better. And honestly, it just really intrigued me. I remember going to bed that night, still what? I don't understand. And so the next day I woke up and I was like, God, if you're real and that was you saying you have better for me, prove it. And that's a whole story in itself. I remember when it happened, I had so much peace about leaving. It was so crazy. And I went home and I went to him and I was like, I can't do this anymore. This isn't for me. When I walked away, there was no, well, you did this and you did that and you treated me this way, so I can't be with you anymore. It simply was, this no longer is for my life, and I'm okay with walking away from it. 100%. I never left the relationship saying, well, there's gonna be someone who treats me better. That wasn't my focus. Better to me meant bettering my life, bettering myself, and putting my heart in a better position to get cared for. The fear of leaving and the fear of seeing that person with somebody else got so small compared to how big and loud this was to me. And from that point on, I think that drove me into joining a local church, and from then I spent 2 years literally no dating. I didn't go on a single date. I just took that time to focus on myself and focus on what better meant to me. Because when your heart isn't home, it's so damaging. Sometimes beyond what we can see, but it damages your self-confidence, it damages your life, and I would even go as far to say as it damages your soul. The Bible says that God is love. So, girlfriend, that means He cares about your love life. How you're treated and how you're loved is definitely His concern. So how do we know if our heart is at home? Home should bring comfort. Here are some of the opposites of comfort: discontentment, displeasure, misery, sadness, sorrow, unhappiness, depression. If any of these sound like where you are at in your relationship or where you have been in a past relationship, home should feel completely opposite to that. Home should feel warm. Home should be somewhere where you look forward to going every day. Home is something you look forward to being comfortable in. Home should bring belonging. You are accepted for who you are. No one's trying to change you. No one's pointing out your flaws. No one's putting a bunch of labels on you. No one's making you question if they want you in their life or not. There's just an appreciation for something that belongs to you. And I feel like if they're making you question the belonging that you have in their life, you'll see side and side this lack of appreciation. And lastly, home should bring love. These get me in my feels all the time. It's when people record their dog when they leave, but then you also see them come back home. When they come home, you just see the dog's face light up, the tail starts wagging. That's unconditional love. Your dog is literally probably gonna love you way better than any other person on this world could. I'm not comparing the love of two human beings to a dog, but what I'm saying is that same warmth, that same excitement, that same embrace is something that is inclusive to what this love should feel like. That's what it's all about. That's what home is. Home is being comfortable. Home is belonging, and home is supposed to be filled with so much love, appreciation. And this, I'm sure, for a lot of people like myself back then, is something that is so new. I don't think I ever really was educated on what love should be or how relationships should look. I kind of just seen posts and it's okay, well, I know that they're not supposed to cheat on me, and let's just go from there, but it's so much more, and I wish that I had learned all these things sooner, but I definitely learned them the hard way, I'll say that. And that's okay, because it literally took me on one of the best journeys of my life. It's placed me in the position I am today to be able to enjoy all the sides of it. So here at Heart at Home, I just want to unpack what that journey was like and the process of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're gonna go through it all. But I hope that in sharing these experiences with you, I encourage those women, young women, girls, whomever, that the same opportunity to have your heart at home is here for you as well. So if this is something that you're wanting to unpack with me, feel free to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with a friend, a sister, a coworker, and I'll see y'all next time here at Heart at Home. Does a